Yes. So we would be recording this course and it should be available post this. Yeah, I have uh, put the post. Poll, please attend. Yeah, attend, answer. Yeah, very few questions. Just selecting yes or no. Okay, I want all the participants try and take this poll. We'll wait for be a minute or more. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I guess I see most of you have done. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for sharing. Yeah. All right. Uh, yeah. Go back. Okay. So that is about the poll. Let's move on. Let's move on. Okay. So let me see. I have a chat. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah. I can show the slides again because we just started the recording. Yep. Yeah. So this is our 211th batch with Logic Labs. Yeah. So welcome to this training called React.js. So React Router and Redux. Yeah. You have our email for any support. You can write to us. Feel free to write an email. And this is the details about the course. Let's say you would like to know more about this course and you want to reach us out. And regarding the timing, it is started today and every day happens from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, so I'll be the trainer for this particular course, right? So in terms of the general information, for any queries, please you reach us out on the numbers. You also have our email and yes, so please join our WhatsApp group so that you get to know the latest communication happening on the course. And so first 5 days it will be free. Post that you have, yeah, our course available on Graphy or LMS platform, and that will be available only for the people who are registering it. And since it is a demo session, feel free to invite uh, any of your colleagues and friends who would be interested to learn React. Right? So with that, let's come to the introduction. Yeah. So before I introduce you to the course and the syllabus that we have, so let me introduce myself. So myself, Arun. So I have been working as a senior software engineer. So it's nearly about 12 plus years. Now I am working in the IT. It's been, I would say, last 4 plus years where I have been working with React.js. So in my 12 years, I mainly worked on front end. I started with technologies like HTML, CSS, yeah, in early 2010. And then, yeah, I've used jQuery. Post that, I was working on a framework called Cold Fusion from Adobe. I also have experience working with full stack applications. And then I got specialization into front end. I I got like, you know, so we didn't have like uh, split off like, okay, this is front end, this is back end when I started my career. So it all started, I think, for me in the year 2015, 16, where things started dividing. Okay, there's a front end and a back end. So that's when I switched to front end frameworks. Yeah, the popular one was Angular.js, and then we had Angular. You know, a few years later, we started with Angular. But by the time Angular.js was moving to Angular, so we had React as well. So I got a chance to work with Angular for about 3+ years, I would say. And then I moved to React. Yeah. So yeah, it is nearly, I would say, 4+ years with React. I've worked, um yeah, mainly on building customer applications um, in all the projects that I was assigned. I've built mainly web applications with React and using other frameworks like Material UI. I also used React for most of my hobby projects. I also built projects and yeah, the trainer journey. I've been teaching HTML, CSS, JavaScript maybe from around 5+ years. Yeah, I was teaching uh, JavaScript. I've taught in the I think we just finished a batch on UI technologies, like where we teach HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And post that batch, now we are getting into the framework, which is like React.js. Okay, so that's a brief about me. Uh, okay, I'll come to you. So moving on. So we are here today to learn React.js and Redux, yeah, the React router. So the trends, numbers, right? So we always talk about numbers and trends, what it says. Yeah, why we are learning React or why you have to learn. You know, so many of you have familiar with the UI technology, HTML, CSS, but in terms of the frameworks, yeah. So just to make you clear and give you a bit more clarity, yeah, what is trending even today, right? So if you see the graph for last 4+ years, okay, so the React, which is an orange spike, yeah, so has has been leading, okay. So last 4+5+years, it's been leading compared to any other frameworks which are actually there today in the market, right? So just to give you an introduction, all these are actually the front end frameworks or the libraries which are actually popular. Yeah, these are the trending ones. These are the ones which are heavily used by all the, yeah, applications. Let's say all the enterprise applications are actually built using these, using one of these. And in that, yes, 5 years of React history shows very bright. Yeah. So this graph is giving based on the number of downloads that happen. So we can download a framework or a library, we can install it using command called npm. Yes. So that's why we are having a batch called React. Yeah. It is popular. It is going to be popular. Yeah. Okay, moving on. In terms of the syllabus, if you scan this course content, maybe you already have got a detailed syllabus. I would not like to go through, you know, uh, each and every thing which is mentioned in the syllabus. Yes, of course, we can actually discuss. Yeah. So, so on a high level, what you will be getting at the end of this course. Yeah. So I'm going to promise you that you will have a very good familiarity with all these topics which are actually mentioned here. Introduction to ES6. ES6 stands for ECMAScript 6. It's a version of JavaScript. The official name for JavaScript is ECMAScript 6. And then, yeah, so we need to know because the React as a code, yeah, though we get into React, so the basic coding is actually there in JavaScript itself. Why I'm particular about ES6? Yes, in the year 2015, JavaScript got a major revision. They enhanced, upgraded it, okay, upgraded the language to the next level with a lot of new features. That is when kind of, you know, a UI like era just started. Things started splitting in terms of the responsibilities of the developer. They started calling a different branch, right? So front end roles also began like front end. When I started, it was a role like application developer. Don't know whether it is belongs to front end or back end. But today we have front end, we have back end, we have full stack. Yeah. So when language got a major revision, major enhancement, so a lot of new features have been added just to make the life of developer easy and to make the development happen faster. Yeah, and to avoid a lot of errors. So in the introduction to ES6, so we will go through the features that are required to get started with React. There are so many features which are introduced, but then we'll understand what is really required to start with React. And then once we get familiar with the ES6 features, we move on to what is called React fundamentals. So we study concepts like components, JSX, props, component composition, yeah, prop styling, yes, and writing functional components. Yeah. So in this course, throughout, we'll be teaching you functional components, yeah, which is actually the latest pattern, yeah, from React 18 onwards. It is actually functional. Then we move on to once we are familiar with the basics of React hooks, yeah. So okay, so there are like the React provided hooks. We call it hooks, yeah. So they are use state, use effect, yes. You got use ref, yeah, use memo, use callback, yeah. So we will understand these basic hooks to understand, how React achieves the, you know, the reactivity, yeah. How makes, how React makes the UI more interactable and then more response to the user events, yeah. How do we update the state change? How do we work with APIs? How do you make asynchronous code get executed within the React component? Okay, suppose that we will learn an important topic called React services, and in that it is mainly for API integration. So from a React application, we can work with APIs. Yeah, we can work with APIs, and then we move on to a topic called React router. Then router is mainly for the navigation or switching. Yeah, so switching from one page to other page, you want to have an application which is more than a page, and then in that you would like to have different branching based on a user access. You also want to have secure some pages, hide some pages from everyone's access. Yeah, we would be learning how to do that using React router. Okay, then we come to an important point is called state management. Yeah, so state management out of React is managed by a library called Redux. Yeah, by the way, React router is also a library which is not from React. Yeah, so we learn routing, we learn state management using Redux, a very important topic. Yeah, so once we have this React fundamentals and the basics of React, so we will explore our application building. Yeah, to put all this learning into a fruitful project called. Yeah, so we'll explore on building an e-commerce application. Yes, so we'll put all these learnings in this application. So we'll make our hands dirty, right? We'll build this application. So we will learn how to build it. Yeah, not only build. Yeah, I will also teach you how to host this application. And then we'll put this onto a GitHub. Hosting, I mean, you get a live preview URL of your application once you build it that you can share with, yeah, that you can share with anyone. All right. Yeah. So high level, this is what is a syllabus that we will actually be going through with React. Okay. Right. So moving on. Yeah. So moving on to React core principles and its details. So before I move on, let me take if there are any questions or anything that you would like to ask. Yeah. Okay. So good morning. So I'll allow you guys to talk. You can actually unmute one by one. I will call out the names. Please share if you have anything to ask with this now. Okay, maybe I'll start with Ram Valagala. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. I don't have anything as of now.
Okay, so yeah, welcome to the course, Ram. Yeah. Okay, good morning. I would go to Aman. Aman Abrol.
Did you ask me?
No, no, it was Aman. Aman. All right, Aman. I think if you're speaking, you're on mute. All right. Yeah. Uh, Now let me move on to Anindya. Good morning. I think you're speaking, but not able to hear you. I think you might be having a problem with the mic. Good morning. Can you hear me? Anindya? No. I think I see you are unmuted, but not able to hear you. Right, Anindya. And you guys can actually feel free to write in the chat. Okay. Also, so I've enabled chat. India, not able to hear you still. Okay. Yep. Let me talk to Manoranjan Behra. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm good for this course content.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was good. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you. All right. So now let me continue. Yeah. Yeah. I think yeah. So write to me in the chat if you think you would like to stop me somewhere. Yeah. It's happening like a webinar mode. You won't be able to, stop me. Like I think. Yeah. So please feel free to write chat. I'll try to not see. Yeah. For rest of you, yes. Give me some more time. Like I think we'll cover some more part of the agenda. Then I'll get back to you all. All right. Moving on. Uh, yeah. From the poll results, I understood many of you are familiar with React, or you might have tried React a bit already, or you might have written already. Some components you understood, or you got a bit of taste of what does React is going to look like. So in its core principle, yeah, so it's basically a component-based architecture. So why first of all React? Yeah, it is actually a library to build user interfaces. Yeah, it is a library to build user interfaces. Generally, how we build an application? We build an application using HTML, CSS, JavaScript, because that is the core of web. So any web application, any application that you see in your browser has to be built using these three pillars: HTML, CSS, JavaScript. But then building applications using just the three becomes a lot cumbersome, and then also it is difficult to build and a time consuming one, right? It is going to take a lot of time, and not everything is provided out of the box. So yes, JavaScript provides a lot of functionality. Yeah, it has list of features, but as a language itself, yeah, so doesn't provide much capability to build the applications to make our life easier, the developer life. Yeah, it doesn't come with its own routing. It gives all the bare bone, like the basic, just the pillars. Now, yeah, it's our responsibility to decorate things. It is our responsibility to build on top of those pillars. Of course, we need to rely. There is no substitute for HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Yeah. So that is when a lot of libraries have been developed, are going to be developed, and they are continuously being developed in the front end system. Many libraries exist today. I just listed in one of the previous slide just the popular ones. Just the popular ones you and me have heard of are getting to hear from others whenever we see about front end. But there are like countless libraries which exist today in the JavaScript world. Yes, in that React is one of the popular library. Yeah, I'm sure you all might be knowing. It is actually a library from, yeah, the well-known company Facebook. But before getting into its history and all that, yeah. So some of the core principles that language, provides the component-based architecture. For example, what is component-based architecture? Everything is actually a custom component. We create user interface, the UI part of it, say using HTML. We design everything using the tags, right? So it could be H1, it could be paragraph, it could be div, section, article. Many tags exist. If I get into forms, I get import, select. Yes, yes, even more tags exist. But with React, it is possible to create such a tag, yeah, such a tag which is provided by HTML by ourselves. We can provide a custom tags. In the React world, it is called as a component, not as a tag. Yes, a component, yeah, similar to tag, accepts attributes, yeah, provides a functionality based on the attribute. You can control, okay, how the tag is going to be getting rendered, right? Yes. So the core of React is its component-based architecture. So in the end, if you understand what React is giving, it is giving you all the capabilities to build an HTML equivalent tags or that are your custom comp. You create tags. You can reuse those tags, and there is no limit to what actually you can make it as a component. Yes. Another core principle of React is actually virtual DOM. So what is DOM? Document Object Model, which means what? Any page which is rendered on the UI, I mean, any page which is rendered on the browser, right? So the way it renders, who's rendering first of all? Browser. So application has HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So browser has one rendering engine. So what is rendering? Yeah, it is simply a term to say you are not displaying it. You're displaying something on the UI. You're painting it, right? You're painting with color, you're painting the boundaries. Now, all the elements which are actually displayed on the page, all the elements, all the controls, everything that you see on the UI or a browser is, okay, is maintained as an object model, which means every element is created as object, yeah, a JavaScript object. So the entire HTML document is represented as object, and every element you can get to see as an object behind the scene. That's how the browser is actually, going to update it. That is its internal representation. Yeah. So that is called DOM, the real DOM, which is displayed on the browser. But React became popular because of this virtual DOM concept that they have. Okay, we will go into this detail in the coming class. So it has a capability to create its own virtual DOM. Yeah, its own virtual DOM, but finally it writes to the real DOM. So basically, React takes care of writing any updates that we do based on the user interaction via this virtual DOM into the real DOM, which is given by the browser. Yeah, which is more on, okay, concentrating more on how things are built. Yes, so React provides more declarative syntax than an imperative syntax. So what does that mean? You mentioned like what has to happen. Declare. Yeah, you just say I need this. This is what I wanted. And React achieves behind the scene for you. You don't have to query the real DOM. You don't have to add the elements to the DOM yourself using JavaScript, right? It has syntax, it has APIs, yeah, through which things get happen. Yeah, which makes our life to maintain our code, yeah, it becomes a lot easier, yeah, than like the normal imperative syntax. And the React ecosystem. When I say React ecosystem, we saw that so React is a library. So this library has a lot of things built around. It's just that today people are using React. Along with React, we have React Router, we have Redux. Yeah, these are also library built along with React. Yeah. So things doesn't work, just with React, you may not be able to build full-fledged application today. And there are a lot of libraries which are actually built to work with React. Yeah, it could be your Bootstrap, it could be your Material UI. Yeah, it could be any libraries related to JavaScript and CSS. It could be form handling library. Yeah, it could be a library like Axios. Yeah, so everything is actually built around React. The React as a ecosystem, it is very big. You have components, lot of libraries which are actually built specifically for React. Okay, moving on. Yeah, so in detail, like what does it has, right? What do we generally see in the React ecosystem? Yes, as a library, yeah, React.js, but then we have router, we also have Redux, we got Axios. I mean, these are the main ones. Okay, there exist many more which are not listed. Yeah, Axios is mainly a promise-based library for API integration, which works very well with React as well. Okay, moving on. Okay, let's talk about React learning curve. Yes, React as a bit of learning curve. As a prerequisite to this particular course, yeah, you should be familiar with HTML, JavaScript, CSS. I'm sure you might have read, and I know many of you are familiar with these technologies, right? So at least the modern version of JavaScript, yeah, knowing what is, yeah, knowing what is a function, what is an arrow function, what is a let, what is const, yeah. So we have the new concepts like modules, right? So these are the some of the required skill that are to be familiar to make your React learning bit easy. Yeah. So with React, you will be learning some new set of syntaxes, but writing will be either in JavaScript or in TypeScript. Yes, today, you have a support for both the JavaScript as well as a TypeScript implementation of your React project. So to learn, yeah, it would be easy to start with the JavaScript. Yes. So let's say you're familiar with TypeScript. Yeah, even that is also good to start. Yes. So in terms of the learning, yeah, you will, as I mentioned, you will have some new syntaxes, which are, you know, the extended version of JavaScript. If you are familiar with HTML and CSS, yes, this is very much required because you will be using those same syntax. You are going to use the same CSS properties, same box model, same flex box. Yeah. So React provides some of its APIs fundamentally, yeah, to make our UI, to make component creation, to make state, yeah, to maintain the state, and to work with different modules, right? So in simple, yes, you might find it a bit difficult to start with understanding the different syntaxes. So that difficulty, yeah, you might find it, let's say you're not actually worked with JavaScript that extensively. If you're not built any applications using JavaScript, HTML or CSS, yeah, you might find things bit difficult in the beginning. And having said that, so it's not that React has too many things which you have to learn. No, it has its fundamental concepts in the form of component, yeah, and you have something called hooks. So these two are the fundamental concepts, yeah, that you should learn. And syntax wise, you will find it more familiar to HTML, JavaScript, CSS if you're not already tried React. Okay, yeah. So understand React has a bit of learning curve that can only be mitigated with a lot of hands-on, lot of practice. Okay, job market and opportunities. Yeah, I'm sure some of you are familiar, would have heard, would have already seen openings. Okay, yeah. So as per my knowledge, okay, today, okay, today even it is for an entrant, meaning new person who's actually wants to get into IT. Okay, they are now making it like kind of React as like a default. React now exists for nearly 8 to 10 years now. Now they're making like, let's say in say Word front end, they it is mandatory that you are familiar with one framework and you know at least one framework and a language. For sure, it is JavaScript only. Yeah, at the front end side. So they're making it like React is kind of in that one library. So React is the popular one which is expected. Whether you are an experienced person or you are actually a new person to the IT, you know, jobs exist today, yeah, for all the levels. Yeah, let's say you're a new uh, new to IT, you are familiar with web and basics of, yeah, uh, all the things to build UI, yeah, and you are familiar with React, then it means that you are job ready. Yes, there are openings for freshers as well. A lot of companies, a lot of startups are hiring, yeah, to build their applications, yeah, even less than 6 months experience. Too many openings are there in terms of internships. One of the way I found is, you know, you get a chance to work with internships. For sure, you are going to get internship to start working with React. And at senior level, you have a lot of demand. Yeah, let's say you have 1 year, 2 years, you have worked somewhere, right? And in terms of the UI, when it comes to the front end, React is the leading in terms of the job opportunities. Yeah, maybe I think I'll share some of the openings and what they're asking. Yeah, okay. I'll try to grab some of the openings to tell you like what they expect when it comes to a React developer. Yeah. So point is, yes, you will be able to get job easily. You will be able to meet a lot of opportunities in the market. Yeah, and as a learning, it becomes a complete only when you have something like a library. I've seen many of the full stack developers. They say, yes, we are familiar with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, but do they know any framework? They'll say no, because in full stack, they can only teach you those basics, fundamentals, that too to an extent. But where they lack is getting into this library. And now front end itself become a separate department, separate role. Okay, so moving on, some more benefits like what React brings us to the table and why React is also popular. Yeah, so it is cross-platform development. Today I said, can build a lot of web applications using React. But then it comes with another, framework called React Native. Using React Native, we can actually build, yeah, or possible to build mobile applications. The same syntax, okay? The same React syntax. It's not just the syntax. You can even reuse now, okay? You can reuse now a lot of things that you have built for web can also be reused for a mobile application. In simple, you can make the same code work both for web as well as mobile. That was actually called hybrid. But then with the native, you get to, get a native interface which can actually be built with React. And React Native is also the popular library in the market today. Yeah. And this provides building both Android and iOS applications using same syntax as what is React provides. It's the same core concept that we are going to study. It's the same thing. You can even become a mobile developer if you are interested, or if you find an opportunity. Yes, you can get into React Native. Yes, it is not just limited to web and mobile. Yes, even desktop applications. Let's say you want to build something like Teams, you want to build some Outlook, yeah, even an application like Zoom can be built using framework like React. Yes, moving on. Yeah, yes. This is another reason why you have to learn your React. It is future proofing your career. I showed you the trend. It has been there for about last 8 to 10 years. And I told you that it has been actually brought to this shape by the community. More than that, it has been backed by a company called Facebook or Meta. Already it has created a lot of job opportunities. Yeah. And many people who work on the front end for sure would have heard or are using React because that is what is the trend or the downloads is showing, right? The number of downloads talking about that. And it has its own, ecosystem and providing a capability to build mobile is again a great advantage. Yeah, it's a great advantage having React. So let's say you build an enterprise or you have started building some application, you have a new business. Do you think you would like to just be there on the web? No. Do you think you will just say, no, I'll just have it in a mobile? Answer is no. Do you want both? Answer is yes. Yeah. So if answer is yes, now I'm seeing in our company a lot of fresh graduates out of college. If I ask them, do you know React? Yes, I already built one or two applications, part of their project. That common the React has become now. They know that they should know this framework. Yeah, I've heard many people, I've seen many people who knows React already before even joining their first job. Just like in older days, we used to have like Java as one of the mandatory thing to get into IT. I'm seeing in the front end world, React is becoming that common. Yeah, it just because it is widely used, widely adapted, and also it supports, multiple types of application that we can build. Yeah, and it has a great community plus a ecosystem of libraries and tools which are actually built around. Okay, yes, I'm sure you will have a bright, career as a web developer, that too specifically with React.js. Okay, so now I'll take up if there are any questions, and then I think we'll move on to what is called. I'll brief about the environment setup that is required so that you guys are ready tomorrow when we have the class with some of the, I mean, I'll just give an introduction. You may not be ready, but it doesn't take too much time also to get started with. Okay. Okay. So with this, let me take if there are any questions from anyone. All right. We'll start with Ashish. Good morning. Good morning, Ashish. And feel free to write in the chat as well. I have enabled the chat. I'll answer from there as well. Good morning, Ashish. If you're speaking, you're on mute. Okay, right. Feel free to talk. I know this is the first session. Yeah, we find it difficult to interact. Yes, that comes with our Indian mentality also. All right. Come on to Radha. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
So any questions so far? Anything that you would like to know more?
Nothing, sir. No questions.
Okay. Thank you, Radha. How about in India? That time you were going to talk. Can you try it now? Morning in India. No, no, not able to hear you still. Right. Okay. So we'll try it again, maybe. Yeah. So just make sure your, mic is also, yeah, mic and is set before you join. You can, I think, have a basic testing so that you can actually interact with me for any questions. But you can write to me in the chat if you have any questions too. All right. Yeah. So, what else? Aman, Abroad. Good morning. Okay, thank you, Anandya. Man. Okay. So, all right. So feel free to write the question. Post this session. We will have the recording available. If you join the WhatsApp community, we will post you where you can find this link. Yeah. So Logic Labs has a YouTube group. Okay, where I mean YouTube channel where we have put this. We are going to host this recording. You can rewatch not for just today. You can watch for all the 5 demo sessions that we will be having it. Yeah. If you joined on late also, yeah, feel free to um, have have some time to go through this video so that you understand what will be covered part of this. Yeah, and then yeah, feel free to come back with any questions you have. Yeah. So the last part for today would be to the environment setup. I'm not going to talk like, or we are not going to do it now. So React to start with, you can actually work locally in your system using some of these tools like VS Code, Node.js, NPM. Will be giving you introduction to this, and then on an online, yes, you can work just on online environment as well, right? So yeah, so with this, so we'll end for today. Yeah, so see you all tomorrow at the same time, 6 a.m. IST. Yeah, so keep an reminder if you are not that early. Um, yeah, with that we
Yeah, I
can
have one
have a,
question. Yeah, I have one question.
oh,
So
sorry, yeah, Manoranjan.
React can be built through the Visual Studio, right?
Yes, we can Visual Studio Code. Let's say
No,
you are just working on Visual front end, Visual Studio Code. Let's say you are a backend developer already using .NET. Yes, you will have support from Visual Studio as well.
okay.
Yeah, there are two editors, Studio and Studio Code. VS Code is a lighter one, just for building HTML, CSS, JavaScript. That would be sufficient if you don't already have one. Yes, Visual Studio is also sufficient, but recommended is Visual Studio Code.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, thank you so much for joining today. You all have a great day and see you all tomorrow. Bye bye.
Yeah, bye.